866-2-PLAN-4, the number to call, 866-TO-PLAN and the number 4, or you can find us online at retirementplannow.com. Brian, you brought a guest in.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Who you got with you here,
Well,
Bubba?
we got an entrepreneur, love stories of people that work their tail off to build something out of nothing, right? We talk about this all the time. I mean, we talk to entrepreneurs who, look back 20 years and go, I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, and you hear that story.
Can you say that?
Yeah, it's allowed, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think
the P word. It's not one of the 7. I think, all right, you're all right. Go ahead, proceed.
I don't know. You're the compliance department. Oh, that's scary.
Well, no, but you had Damon on a while back. Damon Gatier.
Yeah, and that's great because he was talking about, remember, he was saying, what was he doing before he started his real estate gig? It was something that, was he waiting tables or something?
I can't remember.
Forget. It wasn't.
I don't pay that close attention to Damon.
Oh, yeah, he was a prison guard.
That's right. That's what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we're going to either throw you in jail or you got to go get a real job. No, I don't think what they said that. But, the point is you got a business owner. And so I met Ty, and Ty's basically raising his own trout, smoking it and selling it, distributing. There's a lot there.
When you say smoking it, you're talking about in a smoker.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that we're
right.
on the
So
same
I'm
page.
saying there's, so basically how we met, my wife and I, we went to, I guess it was a camp, cottage, farm, stay kind of thing. And he was, bringing the food, and excellent food, just incredible. Everybody was raving about it. I went back for thirds. I was like, is it okay if I get another? There's some left right there, And they're like, sure, you can have it, because I eat a lot of meat. We talk about how much meat I eat. And so I wanted
This joker can clean a bone.
Really?
Down to nothing, man. I mean to nothing.
Yeah. Well, I only
I've
usually
seen it.
eat 1 or 2 times a day. So when I do eat, it's game on.
Going for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's game on. People are like, I think that's unhealthy for your cholesterol and, your red meat intake and, all that stuff. But been doing it a long time. Seems to be working. But I want to introduce Ty Walker with Smoke In Chimneys. And he also has a beautiful guest with him. His oldest daughter, Eve, who is vice president of sales and operations.
That's the truth right there.
She is a sales machine, selling I think she's accounted for most of the sales revenue of the company. Future successor. It's going to take over the business one day. But no, anyways, I want to introduce Ty and ask him a few questions about how he got started and just talk about, because I think that inspires people, right? When you hear someone that started from nothing, essentially, that, you didn't buy a business, right? There was no business you purchased and took it over. You started for something and now are selling. Well, I'll let you kind of answer some of those questions, but tell me what got you the original vision to start Smoke In Chimneys, and where did this come from? Like, where was the idea and what drove you to absolute madness, right, to start this business?
First of all, what is Smoke In Chimneys?
So Smoke In Chimneys is our name. We started at my grandparents' farm in Glade Hill, in Franklin County. We were doing like raw milk and like pastured pork and like grass-fed Wagyu beef. And there's 2 stone chimneys on the property from the 1800s. And, you're like getting the old family farm back going, and it's kind of that image of like you're putting fire like back in the old chimneys, we're like revitalizing the land and all that kind of stuff.
The band's back together.
Yeah,
Fire those dudes up.
Yeah, for sure. So we were there and ended up, having the opportunity to come to this trout hatchery, which was like a major leap of faith, leaving the family farm and this whole thing and kind of striking out on our own. And, so yeah, it's interesting. We kind of did the same thing all over again, like revitalizing this 1930s trout hatchery from ground zero. So yeah,
And that's where is that at?
It's in Newcastle, Craig County. Yeah.
Now, can people come to the farm and purchase, or did most of your...
Yeah, so we're open all day Monday. That's when we're like processing all the fish. So people like show up, get a couple trout, get some smoked trout, whatever. And then we do like a big we usually do like 2 big events, a spring event, a fall event. Like, we got the smoker going. We got the chef there doing food. We do a tour. There's live music.
Nice.
So we didn't do one this spring just because I've got like a newborn at home.
Baby
and
thing,
want to stay
right?
married. So had to, we'll do one in the fall though.
Brian will tell you got to dumb things down for me. So for someone who's never been to a trout hatchery, so you've got this land, it's ponds of fish.
So it's 7 ponds
Okay.
and like 5 like concrete raceways, like kind of big concrete troughs, right? So it was built by the Department of the Interior in the 1930s as like a research facility for raising trout, because it was part of the state system, and they were like, using it to stock for the state. So then it was like sold in the 80s, like onto the private market, and then it like changed hands a bunch of different times, and like so it sat vacant for a while until we got there. So it was kind of like, it had this run of like not all that much kind of success. There was one guy that had done a good job with it. But anyway, so it was like, I mean, literally everybody in the world, like my family, my friends were like, Ty, this is so stupid. Do not do this. Like,
but you're raising them not to stock.
They're food.
They're food. You're raising these trout for people to eat. So for Brian Bowen to have a great dinner.
For sure.
Got
to do it. So.
But here's the thing that, so you've had trout before, right? And the bones, right, are an issue, right? So maybe you can explain the machine that is used to be, I mean, you can't have one of these in your backyard just because of the cost prohibitiveness, right? So maybe talk about that and why
we're
I didn't have one bone.
Like hatching trout from eggs, right? So we were there. This is our 6th year. This is our 4th year with a product to market. The first year was just figuring out like how to even get the water on, like figuring out what the heck we're even doing.
How deep it can be.
How many anything you could ask.
In a pond,
anything, everything.
You clean out the waste.
How do you like get all?
Questions.
I mean, how do you keep all the otters from eating all the fish?
Right.
And I mean, anything you could ever think of. Yeah, that was that. So then the second year was like dealing with the state to be able to process the trout because it's meat, like
Is this a USDA thing?
So it's under VDAX, which is a state thing, but it took a year. I mean, I ended up having to get in touch with the governor appointed commissioner of VDAX, Joe Guthrie. I'm sending this dude Facebook messages. I'm like, dude, I gotta have some help, dude. I'm on like, I mean, we're 2 years in. Dude, I had him out to the farm. He's like, man, this is so cool. It's really awesome. You're, creating some industry out of this vacant place. And he's like, okay, somebody will reach out to you on Monday. And my 8:02 a.m. on Monday, hello, Mr. Walker. I'm so-and-so, and I'm here, and I'm going to help you. And yeah, dude, 10 days later, boom.
So just a quick question, because I know you're back. And if I'm asking too personal a question, you can just tell me. But I'm interested what kind of capital you need to start a business like
So basically, I was working before that. I was like at the farm, and then I was helping my dad with his like real estate gig, right, here in Roanoke. So I ended up leaving. That was like, I was on like commission only, but I ended up leaving because I'm like trying to go back and forth from Craig. It's just like not working out, right? So I've got I had like maybe 50 grand saved up, but then over 2 years, and you're trying to improve the property. I mean, that don't really
scrape the surface.
I mean, it doesn't go very far. So at the end of the 2 years, about the time that I'd gotten in contact with Joe Guthrie to help me with the certification, I'm like, again, I've walked away from my family's farm, my dad's real estate gig, and I'm literally broke working at Earth Fair in Christiansburg. I mean, I'm like, dude, this was like, I guess I'm the biggest idiot on the face of the earth. I guess like we could all kind of make that call, So I had like spent the last money I had feeding out like 2 groups of trout. So I had like literally 2 ponds full of fish. and we had just gotten our certification to process the fish, and I'm working at the grocery store, and I mean, it was a low. I remember being in the parking lot. I literally had $6. Literal. I mean, I got a family. I got kids. Like, literally, I was so stressed. I filled my diesel truck up with gas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Bad.
Yeah.
It didn't mess up the injectors, though. I'm still... Anyway, so literally have $6, and I'm literally like, dude, I have $6. Like, I'm going to Starbucks right now. Like, my life's over. I'm just going to get a coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty rough. So when I wasn't at the grocery store, the days off, I would take coolers of trout to restaurants like, 8164 corridor, Roanoke, Charlottesville, Harrisonburg. And I would just like try to walk into the kitchens, talk to the chefs.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to hear the story, like where you started. And I didn't know the story about it was one. You didn't have to develop it, but it was vacant. You took something that had no value, right, and turned it into something that has value and is providing an income for your family, right? And I know you didn't get in this to get rich or anything, right? But you're meeting your family's needs, and you're working from home. You're with your family most of the time. I get it. You have to travel and all that. But I want to know, so Eve is 6 years old. This is your oldest daughter that's here.
No, E, how old are you? Talking to the mom.
7.
You're 7? No, you're not. You're 6. I'm just teasing. So what do you do? What's your position in the company? Are you in charge of sales?
I help Dad feed the fish.
You do? Okay. You don't help them, like, get them out of there, like when you guys catch them? No? Do you get to swim with the fish or anything?
Definitely no.
No?
She touches a fish because what did you tell us about the fish? What do they feel like?
Very slippery.
They're slippery? Do you like trout, or you don't eat any trout?
I actually really like trout.
Do you? Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad you answered.
Good answer. Good
answer.
answer. Good job.
She wants a ride home.
Right.
There's this video actually we just posted. It's like last week of both my kids eating a whole trout, and like it's at like 400,000 views. Like
Really?
people arguing about the
Instagram?
bones. Like, you're a terrible parent. They're gonna choke on the bones, and then other people are like, no, this is like real food. This is what kids should be. Anyway, it's like anyway, we don't got to go down that whole thing. Anyway, talking about kids eating trout, I wanted to,
There's the finance right there. Go viral.
Yeah.
Make a bunch of money with trout.
yeah.
But I love how you're. I mean, I did this story. A lot of people don't know this story. I started in 2006, bought a 160-acre farm in Franklin County.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Not far from where your dad's grandfather's farm and all that is.
You're not trying to get tips so you can be his competition.
No,
right?
I do not want
No,
to
he
raise
said
trout.
he's got a spring. We need to get some trout.
I
going
know
on
we
in his
need. Yeah, we
spot.
got water coming on our farm, but it's tough. People have no idea how hard it is to what he's doing. Most farmers are raising the food right to a certain point, and they're the wholesaler essentially. Kind of they're acting like the wholesale farmer. And then they sell it to a distributor, right? Or let's say you're a cattle farmer, you bring it to the auction, right? And the auction then turns around and sells it to the feedlot, and the feedlot then processes it and sells it, and then it goes up to Kroger, right? There's too many hands. Way too many hands. You got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hands that are cutting a part of the farmer's profit. They even say, like grain farmers, the box manufacturer makes more than the grain farmer that raises the grain.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That. Yeah.
The guy that just makes the boxes in a machine, it's robotic now. So, I've done that where we were raising the cattle. We had beef, chicken, pork, eggs, turkey. Goodness, I'm missing something. We did a raw milk herd share program for a while. And so you're acting as the farmer and the distributor and the salesperson. And it's a lot to take care of. My question is for you. How are you distributing this? As most people, go on your website, which by the way is smokeinchimneys.com if you want to check his website, or social medias is Smoke In Chimney on Instagram, Facebook. But is most of your customers on the website, or is it wholesale through some of the restaurants?
99% of it is restaurants.
Okay. Name some of the restaurants you got in Roanoke, maybe, or Lynchburg.
Yeah, Roanoke, River and Rail, Stock, Lucky, We're at the Inn at Little Washington, which is near DC. That's 3 Michelin stars. We send Trout to New York City, Chicago every week.
Nice.
Jose Andres' new restaurant in Las Vegas. He pays more for the shipping than he does the trout.
Wow.
The trout, yeah.
Where he's just like, dude,
it must be good trout, though,
I just
if he's
want
paying
it.
that shipping.
Yeah.
So it's on the
It's amazing trout.
So
it's fantastic.
So we're able to do the processing, and then we use UPS as our distribution. So
well, and one thing they have a processing machine that takes all.
No, I don't. No,
but
I don't.
your partners or whatever.
No,
right?
no. So 90% of all our fish go out just gutted, rinsed, whole trout. We've in the past year started this program of doing like smoked fillets, where I take the trout to a friend who has got this ridiculous German pin bone machine that like pulls all the bones out. And I'm not gonna buy one. Don't want to buy one.
That sounds amazing.
Well, but a lot of the
intricate.
nice restaurants, they want to break it all down themselves. You
Right.
know,
So some of them don't
where
want
the
that.
stuff that's going to the end user, like these smoked fillets,
They don't want to do that.
well, it needs to be like pin boned, like ready to eat, like for
Sure.
like the public. You know,
Right.
so
Well, it's work for you, too, isn't it?
what?
Isn't that better that you don't have to do all that?
Oh yeah, heck no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and the guy's like, yeah, every time it breaks, like I've got to fly somebody in from Germany. I'm like, dude, I got enough problems. Don't need flying people from Germany problems.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
So what would you do differently if you had to start all over again? If you started now from what you know, what would you have done differently? Let's say 5 years ago.
Golly, I would have like hired more and better help like early on.
Yeah.
For sure.
To do some of the things that anybody
Just like
can
the
do.
things that need to be done, but
Right.
like I needed to do all the like kind of the planning stuff, but I was so in the weeds of like the business a lot of the time.
Right.
It was hard to like work on your business when you're working for your business.
you're
you
in
know?
the business,
So yeah.
Yeah,
But then it's tough, man. Like we work with a lot of nice restaurants, and it's pretty like when they're like, dude, I need trout on Thursday, it's like it's got to be there, you know? So it's pretty.
You gotta deliver.
It's pretty, there's some stressful moments.
Ty, is it lucrative? I mean, you're talking about having a full family, 4 kids. I'm not asking what you make.
No,
I'm
yeah.
asking if
We've done this like no credit cards, no lines of credit.
Nice.
We started with a pond that had some fish that, was like, a couple grand or something in those. So we're able to process them, sell them, and then just kind of keep reinvesting like the profit. And I mean, I don't have any debt. I'm able to provide for my family. And
Is this your retirement? Is this what you see yourself doing in another 10 years?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
See, that's why he's having so many children. He's got 4 children.
Bro. Don't trust an IUD.
But
I just want to throw that out
But
there.
are you? It sounds like you're talking about all these restaurants in Las Vegas and so you're scaling.
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You said
yeah.
something about what 30,000 pounds
So
a year.
Kroger, we're in conversation with Kroger right now to be in 100 of Kroger stores. So that would be a huge.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Okay.
Well,
so
right
this
now
is
we're all-
becoming more and more of a
No,
moneymaker.
for sure. And I'm like right now in the process of like trying to hire like a point person to just like be like the production lead. I'm like offering like a salary, which I'm kind of like, but I got to have it. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't do like
Everything.
You
my
can't scale
stuff.
if you don't scale.
For
Yeah?
sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So trying to work through those items.
Well, you have to
is-
look back. I mean, I advise business owners all the time on this. It's like, okay, you get to a certain point, you're like, wow, look at the profit. We're actually making money finally, right? And you're paying your bills, and
Right.
you're not digging into savings or debt or
Right.
anything. You're like, this is good. But then you get customers that want more of your product, whatever it is, or service, whatever it is. And then you go, wait a second. Can I pay someone $20 to $25 an hour and possibly make $50 an hour? And that's where it's really hard
sure.
because you're
Well,
like,
dude,
I don't want to pay $50,000 a year
I
to
know.
someone else, but would that make me another 50 or 100,000?
Y'all got to
more?
see the smoker I bought at the end of last year. I mean, it was one of those.
Oh,
like,
it's beautiful.
I
You're talking
can't
about the one that
believe-
you
yeah. So I bought like a Texas style, like 1,000 gallon
Big Daddy.
Yeah, Big Daddy. Yeah. So, but it was one of those things like I can't scale my smoked trout program without a smoke.
Yeah, you
Like
can't
why
do that
can't
with-
why am I even going to talk to Kroger if we got an Oklahoma Joe's from Lowe's? Like it's not going to happen.
or a Traeger, right?
You know, and like those are fine, but it's like I've got to, you know.
So is that kind of equipment, is the overhead, are your profit margins good? Is there a lot of overhead? Do you have to spend a lot?
Well,
Yeah,
EE's
I
probably
mean,
the
we
highest
probably
overhead,
spent-
right?
I mean, yeah. No, it is a lot. I mean, you know, we're at probably, you know, 40% somewhere in there.
Okay.
So
You need
not
to be there,
horrible, but it's not like software or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's $18 a pound, you know, and it's like, but, you know, one of my mentors at White Oak Pastures down in Georgia, I don't know if you know them, they're awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But she was like, dude, you're actually doing your current customers who rely on you a disservice
Yep.
if you're not charging the right amount.
That's right.
Because they're supporting you. They could be buying from somewhere else. And if you're not charging enough and it's hurting your business and you're getting all whatever and end up like, then you're hurting them, you know? And
Right.
I mean, it's like, it's really, I mean, I have people that are like, that's the craziest price I've ever heard. And then there's other people that are like, this is amazing. I want 100 pounds every week.
Yeah.
You
But-
know? So it's just about finding the market. Like this guy in Chicago, 3 Michelin stars. Dude, he's like, this is amazing. Like, I mean, it's been on for like the, there's a hotel in DC. It's been on the menu for 2 years. And that's why I targeted restaurants, because a farmer's market or whatever, like you have to keep making the same sale over and over and over and
Right.
over for one fish. Where if you get on a menu at a restaurant,
Right.
you make one sale and maybe they keep it on for 2 years. And, you know, so anyway, that's what,
Well-
because I needed out of family. Like I needed like recurring
Recurring revenue.
revenue to be able to live.
Well, sustainable means a lot of times in the organic, regenerative agricultural world, a lot of people just think that's how you raise. Well, it's meaning that your business.
Am I being sustained?
Are you being sustained?
Yeah, for
so you can
sure.
continue to provide food to the
Dude,
customers.
For sure. And if like I can't make a salary and I can't put
Right.
tires on my truck and then
Well, I
can't
haven't
do this,
seen
and then
a-
nobody gets trapped.
I haven't seen a farmer's tax return that sells wholesale make a profit in over 20 years.
Wow.
I haven't seen one. I mean, there was a time period where milk, the price went up real high, or beef customers, they may be showing a profit the last couple of years. Barely. I'm talking about minimum wage profit.
Right.
Everybody has a job in town, or their wife works, or the spouse works.
Sometimes
or,
I wish I had a job in town. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
This is crazy. I'm working.
I mean, it's
60
just
hours
like
a day.
you turn the machine on and you're like, dude, this is like nuts.
Yeah,
you
all
know?
day, all night.
Something
Different. I mean,
like-
how many trout farmers do you know on the tip of your
One, and he's sitting right across
You
from
really
us
don't
right
know
now.
to-
Yeah,
none
this
of
is
your-
it, man.
There's
You're the
none of
first,
your
dude.
neighbors are doing this. How come?
I know.
Because it's so difficult, right? It's hard to break through that, and you've built this. Now, let's say you continue to go at the exponential growth that you're growing. I mean, you said you were selling 20, 30,000 pounds. I mean, first year, what'd you sell? A couple thousand pounds, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So if you did that in 10, 15 years, that same growth, I mean, you might be selling, 1 million pounds, right? I know it may sound crazy. Half a
Right,
million.
right.
That kind of exponential growth, the
You
numbers.
have to dig some more ponds there, buddy.
Well, and now we're talking about a full-fledged business. You got, 50, 100 employees, and you're not doing the work anymore in the sense of like raising the trout, right? You're more of managing people. And now you have something called enterprise value, right? Enterprise value in a business is, somebody else like Brett who doesn't know anything could just step in. I mean, you do know things.
I'm really smart. Just ask Brian, he'll tell you.
But somebody that doesn't have, trout business experience, right? And he comes in and he can step in and actually take over the business, right? It's not all Ty Walker.
Right. Which
Right?
I'm trying to.
You step out a little bit. You
Yeah,
have
for
to
sure.
step back a little bit. Maybe you can still be the face and the name to market and grow the business. But, there's eventually going to be an exit, right? You sell the business and it goes on. Maybe it's one of these beautiful kids. I've met 3 of them so far. And Eve, as I know, is very interested at 7 that wants to take over the operations one day,
You
right?
can do it, Eve.
Yeah, are you?
Eve's great at talking to people.
I know she is. So I guess what's your next plans for getting this in? I mean, you talked about Kroger, and then you also got this water we wanted to talk about. You want to go and talk about a little bit how that started?
Yeah. So our carbonated spring water from the spring on our property, we take the water to Three Roads Brewing in Lynchburg, where it goes through their canning line where they can the beer.
Right.
And yeah, it's carbonated in cans. And for me, the clean water, that's what makes the trout so good. And the water is free and it's like ready to go product coming out of the mountain. That's amazing.
Like, you don't have to process the water in any way, shape, or form?
So it goes through like a gauze filter, UV filter. It's pasture. I'm just saying it takes a trout 14 months for me to get it to a harvestable size and work and time, where the water is this beautiful water from our region. Like, I just take it to the can, and then so it's a little more scalable than maybe the trout.
It's a great package, great looking can.
Thanks.
Really
yeah, we
good.
worked super. That's actually the drawing of the spring house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, and the slogan is, if you can't drink this, what can you drink? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, I like the story here on your website. If you go to smokeinchimneys.com, then there's the button that says the story, where it says you purchase the hatchery. You learn how to run it from a century-old book on trout farming. You learn from a book. That's really cool. You didn't go to four-year education.
YouTube. I mean, there was
Virginia Tech degree for $130,000 in debt. No,
it was just like trial and error, and reading this old book and just trying to just survive.
Is it, for our listeners? Is it Smoke and Chimney or
no,
Smoke
it's Smoke in Chimneys.
Okay.
Like if you smokingchimneys.com, or you just Google Smoke In Chimneys trout, like our stuff will pop up. But yeah, I mean, you can order trout right off our website. We ship to people's houses every week.
You got the water on there too?
Yeah,
you get the water on there too?
Yeah. You get like a sample box.
But I think it makes sense for restaurants to purchase your product, because when you go out to eat, for date night or anniversary with your wife or, your spouse, you want something different and special, right? You're willing to spend the extra money for fish, right? Because fish is expensive. I don't care. It doesn't matter what kind of fish.
You're right.
That you get. It's expensive. It takes a lot to harvest it, process it, and all of that.
Right.
So it makes sense to get it in there and, get it out there. It's just restaurants can be demanding, right? I mean, that's
for sure.
I remember when we were selling on the farm back in the day, we were selling food direct to restaurants, and they don't give you sometimes a lot of leeway. I mean, what's your experience with that, dealing with these restaurants? Like, hey, I need this tomorrow, and you're like,
well, and that was like we ship 2 days a week. We ship Mondays, we ship Tuesdays. Like, if we don't get the order by Sunday night, then you
missed out.
Well, and it's like we have to streamline our operation. I can't be like, you've got to like kind of aggregate all your business, get it processed, get it out the door, So
you have 4 kids. Give me the four children names.
Eve, Grattan, Carr, and Genesis, which is the new baby.
Yeah.
Cool names.
Genesis, I met was 2 months? No.
Yeah, he's in like a month. Yeah.
Wow. So you're not sleeping a bit, are you, buddy?
Well, at that daggum event, I'm like, man, it's going to be great. And then I'm like, okay, then I'm in the bed with the wife and the newborn. And I mean, you're just like, dude, like,
This was a great vacation.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm a zombie.
Honeymoon, wasn't it almost like?
The show is called Retire with Integrity. You're a younger guy than me, obviously. 4 kids. What's your plan? Is your plan to build it and sell it? Is it your plan to, pass it off to the kids? Do you have a plan yet? What's your thought?
I feel like I'm not, it's like I don't really have a master plan yet. I would like it to continue, because we're only one of 2 people that can even process trout in the entire state. So
wow.
It's like a very niche thing,
Well, to go through what you did with VDEX, I think was
like either selling it or passing it off to my kids, or that would be I think that would be kind of like the end game.
Yeah, because I mean, you have 4 now, and on this trajectory, I mean, you're going to have at least 8.
No, dude.
Right?
Heck no. I'm so. I really do want to have an excuse to buy the 3-door stretched excursion. You seen those?
Well, you're headed that way.
They're pretty sick. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
That's a total business expense. It's a section
totally,
179.
Dude. Yeah.
Hopefully, Trump brings back the depreciation so we can depreciate that whole thing. Doesn't help with the emissions program out there when you buy those big vehicles. But you can haul a lot of people and you can haul a lot of food.
You can haul a smoker.
You can haul a smoker.
Well, I got to tell you, man, Brian has been ranting and raving about how good your fish is.
It is.
I mean, you had it and you haven't stopped talking about when we're off the air. He's like, dude, you got to try this.
No, it's great. And that's
we spent a lot of time and energy like dialing it in, because it's like, we want to be the best, like really and truly, you know? And
yeah, I'm sure it wasn't
why
like
am
that.
I doing that? If I'm like, to just go through the motions, like I can do a lot easier jobs and go through the motions and make the same modest income. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if we're going to do this, like, let's be like the leader, you know?
Right.
And you're scaling. And it's working. You're scaling.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Things are happening.
Yeah. I encourage everyone to get out there and go to this website. It's smokeinchimneys.com. That's smokeinchimneys.com. And you can order, if you go there, actually, you can click on Trout boxes and you click on the premium box. You can get a nice, looks like 3 frozen, fresh frozen trout, 3 smoked trout, 4 trout cakes. I haven't had the trout cakes, so that's good.
My buddy outside of Richmond does all the crab cakes for Whole Foods, and I went to him and I was like, dude, we got to do a trout cake. And he's like, man, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's like we went back and forth on the recipe, and dude, they're so freaking bomb. It's only like 6 ingredients. It's like
that's great.
Lemon, salt, pepper. Because it was like the first ingredient was like, it was like a million things. I was like, dude, we got to get it down to like something you know what it is.
You got to be able to read it.
Yeah. So
you don't have to have a medical degree to. Yeah, if there's something I have to have like
and a phonetic spelling. Yeah.
So we smoke the trout and then flake it and then send it to him, and then he like patties it because it's got to be frozen and vacuum seal all the stuff. So yeah,
that's great. I mean, I think
they were at the Pine Room for a while at Hotel Roanoke.
Hotel Roanoke, really?
Trout cakes. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is that's a delicacy for sure. Trout cakes. You like that sort of thing?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Yeah.
Well, my wife's from Maryland, and she still calls them crab cakes. I'm like, listen, babe, we gotta. It's trout cakes.
It's not
trout
actually
hatchery.
crab, but it's kind of like
trout.
A crab. I was about to say it to him. I was like, do you like
it's crab cakes?
It's like a crab cake.
Yeah, I know it for sure. Yeah.
So Ty Walker, I know of your brother Asher because he's a great marketer.
Yeah.
The one thing I can tell you about marketing is next time you come into this radio station, you got to bring samples, dude. You got to bring us a water. You got to bring us some of that.
I brought some sampons in the car. I didn't know what I was getting into today, honestly.
I'm just kidding. I'm not looking for free.
I didn't provide a little information. I said, hey, come down.
5:30. See you there.
Come down in the show.
Like,
way to go, Brian. Well, it's a pleasure having you on. Any last parting thoughts for Ty?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think as you grow your business, I think it's great to come up with a plan, right? Like not necessarily for selling the business, exiting. We do exit planning, but a lot of times it's about growing it, right? Like hiring the right people.
For sure.
Finding out what your value is. If you find out like, okay, my hourly rate last year, I worked this many hours and I made $40 or $50 an hour, let's just say.
Right.
And you go, wait a second, could I hire someone to do this work for $16 an hour? And the kid down the street that's in high school or just, maybe part-time college student, he'll be happy to make that, right? That's more than working at Dairy Queen or Chick-fil-A or whatever.
Yeah, I pay like 18 right now.
Right. And so, you have to find out what your value is, and then you can go up market essentially, right, and deal with the sales and development, the things that maybe earn you $50 or $100 an hour, because you have to make that kind of money to make money to survive and provide.
Yeah.
Because if you're not sustainable, right? You don't have a
I gotta go get a real job.
No, we
so-
don't want you to do that.
Yeah,
We still
for
want
sure,
the
for
smoked
sure,
trout.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, you're a cool dude. Eve
Thanks.
is awesome.
She
7-year-old
is.
Eve. She's been amazing
And adorable.
Say thank
and
you.
adorable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we want to just spell this out for you. It's Smokin' Chimneys. SMOKIN Chimneys. Right, Ty?
With an E. Smoke. SMOKE.
SMOK. Got it. SMOKEIN
Mhm.
chimneys.com. Check it out.